Hello, everyone. Welcome back, all you meat addicts, paleo, keto, low carbers, nutrition enthusiasts, anecdotes, whoever you are, welcome back. Maybe you're just a passerby looking in, but glad you did. This is the Beating Obesity episode number 11. I'm Jim, and I just wanted to start today with just sort of a little announcement that over the past couple weeks, I've seen the channel growth just really accelerate. So thank you, everyone. There's been not only in terms of number of subscribers, a number of comments has picked up, and that's been really interesting. There's been some good comments, some good questions, some exchanges. And that's kind of what I'm interested in, people participating, sharing, giving viewpoints and opinions. This is not a channel where I give lectures. It's more where I recount what I've done, what I'm interested in, what I think, my opinion, and I'm really looking to bounce it off of other people and learn from what other people are doing too. So it's definitely a community that needs to share information. So that's what I like. Anyway, just thank you, everyone. We seem to be striking a chord with certain groups of people. Maybe a little bit off the mainstream, but it's a lot of fun. So just to start off today, I want to make an announcement that next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to be at the Low Carb Breckinridge conference out in Colorado. There's going to be a tremendous a lineup of speakers from all the experts and luminaries in the low carb world. And the reason I'm going, I'm just really interested right now in learning more about nutrition, about myself, about health. I've got a real thirst for answers because the light bulb went on last year in my mind that, hey, a lot of what I knew was wrong, a lot of what we've been taught is wrong, and I just want to experience and learn more. I started last year watching videos on YouTube on all these various conferences around the country and around the world. And I've been following on social media a lot of the speakers who will be at the conference next week. And man, I've watched them all, I've absorbed them all, and I just want to. I'm going to this one next week because I just want to experience one. I want to be there, witness it firsthand, see what goes on behind the scenes, maybe rub elbows, meet some of these folks. I'm sure there'll be a chance to meet not only the experts, but also just people like myself just to show up. So I'm really looking forward to it. There's also a chance, I'm not positive of this yet, but I'll know in a day or so. There's a chance that I'm going to be interviewed by dietdoctor.com, which probably most of you are familiar with. It's a real popular website for the low carb world. It's an excellent website resource. I'm potentially going to be interviewed as a success story, and they will that they could put up on their website as a success story. So we'll see if that turns out to be true. I don't know. They had solicited for people who would be attending the conference who had an exciting success story. So I submitted my story. Thought, well, I would call it a success. I feel like I'm a success. So we'll see. But if that happens, I'll make an announcement and to clarify that. But if there's, I'm hoping maybe to be able to have a chance to document it a little bit, take some photos or give an update, maybe even some short video updates while I'm there. If anyone, has any suggestions on questions they'd like to ask, I mean, I'll be in a position where I can ask questions. Or if there's certain things you'd like me to document, let me know, and maybe I can take care of that. I do plan probably after I attend it, I'll probably maybe like next week or the following week, I'll do a summation. I'll make one of my regular updates about the conference, what I learned, uh, my feelings about it, if it's worthwhile for others, recommendations, that kind of thing. So uh, that's to come. And again, real excited about that. I'll put down in the comments a link to the conference website. You can see all the speakers who are going to be there. A lot of really interesting people. So moving on. This week, I'm just doing something different. I mentioned earlier there was some interesting questions coming up in the comments on some of my recent videos. And I've answered some of them, and some of them I feel deserve like more attention or a long form answer. So today I'm going to bring up 3 questions and answer them again uh, in the video, so that it won't be something that's just buried down below. Maybe not everybody sees it, but I want to bring it up for a wider audience and give a little more of an extensive answer. So let's look. I picked out 3 of them, and here we go with the first one. So the first question is from Shebak, and the question is, how is it that your weight has so many ups and downs in phases 1 to 3? Did you often gain weight? How often did you weigh? So to answer this question, I think I'm going to put up my weight loss graph, because I know why this question was asked, and it'll be easy to explain if we look at the weight loss graph. So first of all, just answer that I weigh every day, and this graph is a chart of every single day's weigh-in for the past year and a half or so. And I believe the question about ups and downs refers to the only ups I had during this whole process were what I call fast recoveries. And I've indicated them on the graph here. There's 3 of them. And this was the only time that I had a weight gain. Otherwise, it was just a straight plunge down. Once I changed diet, once I went to 1 meal a day, it was just a steady plunge. But when I would do an extended fast, like the first one was for 14 days, and I did another one for about 1 week, and then I did a third one for, I think it was 11 days. When you fast, you lose a lot of, you lose water, you lose fat. Once you start eating again, you gain back water. Your body starts retaining water again, and you pick up some weight from food and water. This is just natural. This is not to be confused with, it wasn't like I was having trouble maintaining my weight loss and it was a relapse. It's not like an up and down yo-yoing effect. This is just 100% caused by the fast, or refeeding after the fast. So that's what those ups and downs are. That's why I had them, because I was doing 1 meal a day plus occasionally a long fast. And I'll just add on a fast, I just want to add that, the water, there's a lot of talk about needing to drink a whole lot of water when you're fasting. And there's recommendations I've seen, certain quantity. It's really, really important. Drink lots and lots of water. I found that not to be true. In fact, I found the opposite to be true. You actually need less water when you're fasting. When you fast, your digestive system stops. It just stops functioning. And it's that digestive system that requires a big amount of water to work properly. So no, what I started to do is just listen to my body. That's what I did all, the entire process. When you're thirsty, drink when you're thirsty. That's whether you're fasting or not, drink when you're thirsty. So anyway, that's why the fast after you fast, you start taking on more water, you do get more thirsty, and you gain a little weight. Okay, the next question is from Little Cable Boy. And the question is, I'd like to hear more about what you ate after the extended fast. I'm sure you can get sick after 14 days if you're not careful when you start eating again. So yeah, after that 14-day fast, this was my first long fast. Uh, I was very careful. I've been reading a lot, and I put a lot of focus in it, in what to do when I stopped fasting. There was a lot of, in the literature, a lot of cautions. Don't eat. Make sure you don't overeat. So what I did that time, I think I just started with a little very watered down fruit juice, and then I took some watermelon, and then a little later in the day I had a small salad. That was it for the first day. Then the next day I kind of ramped up a little bit more, added some protein, and I took it real gradual, and I might add no problem. It seemed like a little bit overkill, but that's the way I did the first one. I just went kind of gradual, and over a couple days I ramped up back to normal eating. Let's say after I got the hang of a few fasts, when I did that third fast, that 11-day fast, I just sort of went right back into eating my normal routine, which was a salad, some steamed vegetables, and some animal protein and a little fruit. It just I took it easy on the quantities. I just made sure not to overeat, and that seemed to be fine also. And my takeaway from all of that is, yeah, you do need to be careful when you fast. And if you're going to fast, don't end your fast thinking you're going to go back to some kind of crazy diet, full of bad high carb food, processed food, junk, and you're just going to stuff yourself as a reward. Now, that you will probably make yourself sick, and you'll probably do yourself some harm. But so definitely that's not the way to go. But if you're on a decent diet of good whole natural foods, not processed foods, I think you just need to take it easy and make sure not to overeat when you first start back. Okay, and the final question is kind of a two-part question from Bid Now. And the question is, I'd like to know your height and what type of sports you participated in during high school, including perhaps your lowest lifetime body fat percentage, if you know it or can estimate it. I'll just answer that part. I'm 6'1". In high school, I was football and baseball were my sports. I think I wrestled 1 year, but that really wasn't my sport. And no, I don't know my lifetime lowest body fat percentage. I really don't. I kind of know where I'm at now, but I don't really have a comparison going back to when I was young. And the second part of the question is, and this is again looking at my weight loss graph, the question is, it looks to me that in August 2017, at 192 pounds, was actually an inflection point. So perhaps a bit of discussion about this would be worthwhile. I'll guess it was just a point of a bit more extended fasting and a time to, quote, get more serious and send a message to your body, again, that it was time to drop your goal weight. As you said, the noise level and weight fluctuations became more pronounced for those 2 months. And yeah, this is a perceptive observation, and some of it, frankly, I didn't really catch until going back and reviewing it. So I have prepared a little bit of a more detailed response, and I'll put that up now. Yeah, so here's my weight loss graph again, and I'm showing where the August inflection point is. And if you notice, before the inflection point, my weight loss, the rate of descent was at a certain rate, and then I got an arrow in there where there's a whoosh, and I'll explain that in a second. And then after the whoosh, there's a noticeable sort of a decline in the rate of descent, a change, if you will. And I'm just going to describe this because here's what happened. Before that inflection, I had a certain routine. I was running. Uh, I began quite a bit of running, but not, I guess, maybe 3 or 4 days a week. And also, I started maybe fasting 1 day per week during that time. That's why you start to see a little bit of up and down pattern to the weight loss, because I was doing like 1 day a week fasts. Uh, then where I put the whoosh, that's where I think was an inflection point. And the whoosh, what that means is, and this is a term, this is not a technical term, but what this is, and many people have described it, but I experienced during my weight loss journey, I'm going to say for sure twice, maybe 3 times that I'm not positive, but there would be over a period of days, just I suddenly had to go to the restroom like much more often, like every couple hours, and it was a strong urge and a high output. And this went on, and I couldn't account for it. I didn't know why. It wasn't because I was drinking a lot more liquid. It wasn't because of any change in routine. It was just a lot of liquid and a lot of expulsion, and it resulted in, you could see it in weight loss. I mean, you would see a rapid weight loss. That arrow where I put whoosh, that's not a fast weight loss. That's like over 5 days. That's just from losing a lot of liquid. And I've looked around to try to find a definition of what causes this. And here's what people say, and whether this is true or not, I don't know. It makes a little sense to me. When you're losing weight, I mean, one of the byproducts of burning fat, there are 2 byproducts, carbon dioxide and water. And supposedly your fat cells don't release all the water in a steady rate, and they don't release it all the time. Sometimes they hold on to it for a period of time. For what reason, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. There's probably, the body has a reason to hold on to that water. But it reaches a certain point when it realizes, okay, now is the time. We got too much water and we got to let it go. You know, these are the fat cells talking, and it just releases, and it goes on for days. This release. I don't know. It may sound crazy, but that's kind of what happened several times. So in August, anyway, I had one of these whooshes, and I was going to the restroom day and night, constantly, and with extremely high and long output. You know, I don't need to get more graphic, you get my drift. But then after that point, you notice it's sort of a change in the rate of descent. It wasn't the same after that. And that next period, after the whoosh, and then I marked there's another arrow where it says end of weekly fast days. That between those 2 arrows was probably the most intense part of my weight loss journey. I was running a lot. I was running like 5 days a week, 6 days a week. I was doing a Sunday morning long run of between 8, 10, 12, 13 miles. I was also fasting 2 days a week. So I would eat 5 days a week and then fast for 2. So that meant I was fasting a 71-hour fast during those weeks, during that period. And so I realize in retrospect that I was pretty hard on myself right there. And it was, I have to say, probably I was making a final push. My goal was to get under 180 pounds, and I was, you know, after the whoosh, I was just on the verge of hitting that goal. And so probably this was a final push. I wanted to break that barrier. And everything was going well. But I have to say, there was a realization uh, where I ended the weekly fast. The last few weeks became hard to do those fasts. And, I had done long fasts before, uh, very long fasts. So you think 2 days, why would it be hard? But I found them hard to do. And the very last one I did, I found I was having cravings for food. I couldn't sleep at night. I almost on the last night got up in the middle of the night and made something to eat. Um, and I just said, wait, something is different here. Something is wrong. Why am I having these cravings? And I thought back to things I've read uh, back in some fasting literature that you don't have to worry about not eating in a fast because the hunger goes away and you're not going to starve to death, but your body will tell you when it's time to start eating. Uh, before you die, your body will come in and it'll give you a strong signal, a signal that you can't avoid. And I just started to think, I think my body is telling me to start eating again, that I've gone too far with the fasting. And I immediately I decided, all right, I'm done with these weekly fasts. I'm going to start eating every day now, and I'm going to start eating more. And right from the moment I made that decision, mentally, I made that decision, even before I'd eaten anything, I felt relieved. I felt good. I felt like I made a breakthrough. And it really, if you look at after that point, I just continued on with a nice steady state of affairs, and I felt real good ever since then. And it was the right decision. It was time to eat. And I will just add one final point. It was only, I'm going to say, a couple weeks after that where I started my adventure with the carnivore diet. And when I started the carnivore diet, I mentioned this in my earlier video, my body was a sponge for protein. It was just, I couldn't eat enough. I was eating huge platters of meat. And and I said before that I felt like I was starved for protein. And I think it was maybe not only for protein, it was starved for food. So I think I maybe crossed over during this period after the August inflection point where I crossed over and maybe was too hard on myself, did too much fasting, too much running. I just pushed myself too far and needed to back off, needed to take on some nutrition and to get a more firm foothold uh, into let's say, a more healthy lifestyle. I mean, I didn't feel in any danger. I didn't feel overly bad at any point. I just started to wear down a little bit. The grind got to me. When I couldn't finish a 2-day fast without having huge cravings, I knew that something was wrong. So that's it. Kind of that's my detailed answer, overly detailed answer to the question. Um, I where I stand now, as far as extended fasts, I really don't know. I might do once per year. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think I'll really try, again to do like the every 3 months. I don't see any need for that. That was more like to assist in my weight loss. But at this point, I'm thinking maybe like a week, take a week out of the year and do a fast. Uh, but that's about it. Um, I'm still on the one meal a day, and I'm eating. I'm happy with that way of eating, and it keeps me. I'm in ketosis, and it keeps me happy, and I'm flourishing right now with my running and with my workouts that I do at home, my body weight workouts. So I'm real happy where I'm at. So um, okay, I guess I beat that question to death. I hope this was interesting, this format. I might do this from time to time. I'm just gonna maybe collect some questions that I find worthy of a more detailed response, and I'll bring them up and make a little video. Yeah, so that's it, I think, for today. Let me know in the comments if, as you can tell, I enjoy answering questions about what I did, and I'm hoping that it will help people. I know there's been some people mention they're trying to do something similar to what I did, so also let me know how that's working for you. Um, and I guess that's about it for today. I appreciate again all the viewers and commenters and people liking, subscribers. Thanks a bunch. Thanks again. And until next week, which will probably be, uh, maybe it'll be an update. The next one will be an update from the low carb Breckinridge. I hope to be able to maybe put up some short videos or an interview or some selfies or something from that. Again, give me your ideas if there's something you want to see or something question you want to know about it. Let me know and I'll try to see if I can answer it. That's it. Until next time, take care, everyone.